time of the week again. That time when we get together and we chat about random hobby related stuff.
True.
I'm excited to say we have random hobby related stuff to talk about. Um, I I will say we don't have a lot to talk about, but
Yeah,
that's
nah.
okay.
Yeah, I feel it seems a little slow, like just hobby related things. Um, but I don't know, is it? Like I guess they
I mean,
are
was it
not.
2 weekends ago? That was when they had their like big reveal stream on Saturday.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, so
That's
we're not really expecting much. I guess the best we could have hoped for would be that during this week or maybe a little last week they would have showed us a little more about the new Warhammer Quest game.
well, I kind of think they announced that maybe they are gonna talk about it a little bit in one of their Twitch streams or something. Like on Sundays, every Sunday they kind of reveal for the week, I think, like, what's gonna
Hmm.
be going on Twitch, that sort of thing. They might have said something about that, but I didn't watch it carefully, so I'm not sure. But I guess
Perfect.
all of that's to say that maybe there will be additional information.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand that. Uh, oh, I think on the Warhammer like community stream or whatever on Twitch.
Before before that, did you say hello world?
Oh, I typed that. Yeah.
I just
I
wanted
just
to.
found the
Is
first.
that through Streamlabs?
Yeah, so like I was playing around a little bit in Streamlabs. It's actually pretty nice. I'm not sure, it was probably always like this and I just didn't realize it, but I can read the chat myself and type in the chat. And you
Are
can too,
you using
Eric.
are you using 2 monitors?
I'm using two monitors.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I knew you could the chat thing, like you're saying, like that, I knew that was a thing, but we, at least for a while, like, it was basically impossible to really use without 2 monitors, but I suspect that makes it easier. Is that the case? Or that you can
Yeah,
actually.
like before when it was all on one, I would have to look back between. I'd have to click on and off of Streamlabs and whatever we were talking about. And now I don't have to do that. But you'll see that I'm always kind of looking over to the one direction and not like straight ahead, and that's because I'm looking at the other monitor.
Yeah, okay, that's
But for a while I thought I just had to read the chat from within the Streamlabs window, what's being, say, displayed to viewers, but
yeah,
there's another chat box.
that's good, yeah, so I'm sure that makes it just more usable.
Yes. And now I can actually interact with chat, whereas before it was hard.
Yeah, okay.
Learning stuff every day. We're gonna be we're gonna become pro streamers.
Oh, yeah, so I just like oh. So I used some of the, channel points that I had to also put the shades on the little skull, because why
Pretty
not?
cool.
This is this is the power of Twitch.
Mm-hmm. Looks
Such
terrible.
power. Better than a lot of the other options. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe we'll be able to do some neat stuff with Twitch eventually.
Well, I guess I should start making more like Twitch icons and stuff for the stream.
I feel it would be at some point we should start to consider how we could do more like, hobby streams, something like that. I don't know how interested people would be in that, but
No, that I feel is the biggest thing we have to do, and
I feel I'm gonna be moving eventually, and maybe that will result in more stable internet on my part, which
oh, that
could
would be nice.
possibly open up the opportunities of maybe me doing something as well. I'm not sure. It will all remain to be seen, but
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear that. So I guess we can get into the hobby happenings section. I know most of my efforts have been focused on converting a little automatic, semi-automatic pistol for a Necromunda model, and
mm,
we posted a little bit about this on Instagram, maybe a day or so. Um, but I think now I'm actually finally finished with the pistol. And for the pistol, I just took one of the Sister of Battle bolt pistols. And the main reason I was doing this was just because the hands, the hands for the Sisters of Battle are pretty good. They're pretty small.
mm.
So I took one of those, and
I feel it looks pretty good. The pistol grip,
hmm
despite being associated with a gigantic bolt pistol. Like, did you have to trim that at all?
yeah. So the bottom of the pistol grip, I had to
Right.
cut off the bottom,
Yeah.
reshape it a little bit, and then I with modeling putty sculpted on like the magazine that would go in the grip.
But
Um,
it's still, I mean, because as it looks now, it looks like a pretty good size. Like, certainly you sculpted on the the magazine and all that, but it doesn't look too bad.
no, I feel it's roughly akin to like a modern day full size pistol. But so I think we're in the process of making a little tutorial post about it, about how I did the whole thing. At first, I didn't think I really wanted to do one because this was more of a complicated job than
Mhm.
some of our other tutorials. And I guess the main reason for that was the majority of the work was just sawing off parts of the original bolt pistol and then just carefully with an X-Acto knife shaving more and more plastic away
Did
and
you do any, like, sanding or anything like that to help with the shaping?
yeah, so I do have some like little fine grit Tamiya like sanding sponges, and I use
Mm,
them periodically to improve things, but most of it was still just done with an X-Acto blade, and I carefully shave away more and more of the plastic, trying to shape it, however, trying to shape it into something that I think looks approximately correct.
okay.
And then once I got the general shape done, I then needed to add in some other detail lines and stuff to kind of make it look as if the pistol had a slide and also like the little ejection port. And so all of
Mhm.
that stuff, if it were a little larger, I you could do that sort of like a lot of like Gundam modelers and stuff will do scribing where they'll actually put down like a thin piece of tape and then kind of use that as an edge to guide using like a little scribing tool or say an X-Acto blade to just carefully cut into the plastic to make the line. In this case, since it was so tiny and it's hard to hold on to, instead of
Mhm.
doing anything like that, I just used a little one of the razor saws and carefully sawed into the plastic wherever I thought it looked appropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
And in
Well,
the
'cause
case for this as well,
good.
since the blade to the razor saw is like longer than the entire pistol, it made it a lot easier to get a straight line across the length of the whole pistol and make it
Mm-hmm.
actually straight. And then I also did the same thing at the rear of the slide of the pistol there. I used the little razor saw to put in two additional little cuts to kind of give it the illusion of some of the texturing you often see at the rear of a slide of a pistol to kind of help you pull the slide back to chamber and around. And
Yeah.
then most of the other detail work I just added with modeling putty. And I guess the front of the slide, I kind of sanded away a little too much plastic, and I wasn't really happy with the shape of the slide, so I kind of fixed that with the modeling putty as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I also think it's a .4. Is it .4? Like a .4 millimeter brass tube was what I used for the barrel. And that, I don't know, adding anything that small, barrels like that, pretty tricky that you
You
place it
drill out
properly.
for as well, like the
Repeat
exact.
that.
Did you drill a .4 millimeter hole as well? Like, are they the same size, or like how carefully do you?
They were both the same in this case.
Okay.
Or the drill bit I used was .4, and I'm pretty sure that's what the brass tube is. Like, I no longer have them all organized to know exactly what size
Yeah,
they all are, but um
presumably.
I'm pretty sure it was .4.
Mhm.
And it fit in really nicely. But um particularly when you're trying to insert the little brass barrels and stuff, if you ever try to do it, or anyone, viewers or whatnot, try to do it, um probably the hardest thing, aside from making sure the placement is proper, which is really hard, is you have to be really careful how deeply you drill into the
Mhm.
weapon to seat the barrel, because even if you get the placement correct, when you're drilling in, if you don't drill in just perfectly straight, then when you try and slot in the barrel, it won't be straight.
Yeah. So
And
to deal with that, do you tend to just not drill in much at all and cut the very relatively thin piece? If let's say you don't do as straight as you want to, or
yeah,
like how?
so the problem with, you can't make it too thin, because then you literally can't hold the little piece
Yeah,
of brass
right.
tubing. Like,
Yeah.
my fingers are, they're
Like
not
huge
that big, but like they're fucking huge compared to.
in relationship to that. Yeah.
And even if you're trying to use the tweezers, unless you have a really nice tweezers, it's still really hard to do that. My biggest recommendation is, once you drill the hole, and if it's not perfectly straight, what you can do is you can go back with the same invise, the same size, and you can just kind of angle the pin and drill a little, and angle the pin in different ways and drill a little, and you sort of will make at least the very beginning of that hole, make it a little broader, a little.
Okay, so that's what I do, even when just drilling out the barrels of like bolters and stuff. If I
Yes.
find it's not
Yeah.
quite right, to try to make it look better.
Well, so if you're careful doing that, sometimes um you can just, if you cut the little brass rod short enough, you can just, you have a little more play to position and reposition the barrel to make it look better.
Okay.
Um, but again, in many regards, when you're working at such a small scale, it's very hard to get everything perfect. And I mean, in this case, me looking at the pistol now, like I can tell a bunch of little things that I feel could be better, but
Yeah.
it would be hard for me to do too much better than this, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I
Without
mean,
just redoing the whole thing again and essentially hoping
uh-huh.
it's better.
I kind of feel that, and this is kind of a thing that's sort of always the case for almost any miniature related stuff like this. When seeing it in Instagram, you kind of don't, it's, you can often think of the models as larger than they actually are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, any of these pictures here, it's a lot easier to see the mistakes and little imperfections. And in many regards, like, I know whenever I'm working at stuff like this, it's nice to have friends like Eric, you, and Greg. I'm always sending you new pictures, like work in progress pictures of what I'm working on. And part of that is just sort of selfish on my part, in that if I send them to you, then I can enlarge those pictures
Yeah, yeah.
on like my phone or a computer screen, and then that makes it easier for me to identify areas that need to be improved or worked on, and
Yeah.
then I can go back. um
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that is so small. But the little additional like kind of textured grooves you did on the back of the slide look nice.
yeah, no, I was worried about them, that I'd fuck up the slide, which I guess even if I had, I
Could
could
have
have,
filled them in, right, with like nail put or something.
yeah, like filled them in, but in this case I feel it's good enough.
Yeah, I think so.
um and I guess also, in addition to the little pistol itself, I also have some little holsters that I kind of refashioned. These, I guess, these were holsters from. I'm pretty sure they were Deathcore, either Deathcore or Elysian Drop Troop, like las pistol
Mhm.
holsters. Like I took some of those resin holsters and trimmed them down and like reshaped like the pistol grip and some of that other stuff, and then cast a whole bunch of the little modified holsters, smaller holsters. And in this case, I just took those and cut them even smaller. And in this case, all of these, this little tiny holster, the blue one in this case, is rough. It would roughly fit that little pistol that I converted and we were talking about earlier. But here I have a picture of it sitting beside one of the little Sister of Battle bolt pistol holsters. And so
Mhm.
they're pretty remarkably different. And I don't know, one of the things that like I really dislike about nearly all GW pistol holsters, and I mean, it's easy to fuck it up, and I feel even this, the little blue one I have here, I need to do some sculpting to try and improve it a little. But like most pistols, like if you're holding it in your hand, like let's say this phone in my hand is a pistol grip, the rear of the slide of the pistol, it like actually comes back past like
Mm.
the part of your
Yeah.
hand. And so yeah, if you
Yeah.
look at the pistol here, part of the slide and rear of the gun
Mhm.
extends past like your fingers, or the little groove for your fingers. And
Yeah.
just about whenever GW sculpts a holster, the pistol grip
Mhm.
is right up at the very top of the holster, to the point where like none of the pistols they designed would fit in them. And then on top of that,
Yeah.
the actual like pouch is too small to fit the pistols as well, even though it's huge. Also, actually, let me take a. I can take another, or actually, we can go to.
Live view, maybe.
Yeah. So if we look at, let's look. Let's move some of this other stuff out of. So yeah, if we look at the bolt pistol here, it extends pretty far past the hand back here. And then if you go and compare that to the
Oh yeah,
holsters,
that's crazy. Like nothing. Yeah, wow, it is so different.
it's not even close. So like ideally, what you would
That's some
want to do is you would
detail.
sculpt and extend the top of this
Mm-hmm.
by like a few centimeters or something. But then on top of that, if you'd remove the magazine of this bolt pistol, it still doesn't even get close. It kind of gets close to fitting in,
Yeah,
except this
there's yeah.
makeshift front sight doesn't fit. The bottom of the magazine well doesn't really fit, and on top of that, it's way too broad to fit in the holster as well. So, I mean, it's not even close. And GW
Yeah.
has realized this for a while. Like, if they have, I'm sure they know, they just don't care. Because if they would actually make a holster that's big enough to fit this pistol, it would have to be gargantuan, and it would look awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it already does look awful, but even more so. Even more so. Oh, Greg's here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Hey, Greg.
Eh,
We've spent like the past 20 minutes talking about pistols and stuff, the little pistols and such that I'm converting. And one of the things that like I don't know if you've ever realized, Greg, but you know, nearly every single GW holstered pistol, for one thing, like if you look at it, the pistol itself wouldn't fit in the holster, but on top of that, they never seat the pistol properly in the holsters either. Like the pistol grip itself is seated up way too high.
To the point that where's the whole big back of the
Yeah, the whole back of the pistol that juts past like the groove of your hand, it
well,
just doesn't
that's
fit.
not a bolt pistol. That's like a whib pistol or something. Clearly.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But I mean it's like nearly every single GW pistol is like that.
yeah.
Like and it's bad. So let me see if I can find it. One of the nicest pistols. Oh. One of the nicer GW pistols that I've seen in a while is, I think, from. Or it still has its own problems, but from the Shadow Pair box set. This,
Mm-hmm.
like, is he a lieutenant? I'm gonna say he's a lieutenant. He actually has a holstered sidearm on the side of his leg, and it's a little hard to see because it's different parts of the holster are in different pieces of the body, but it's smaller. It's even smaller than their traditional holstered bolt pistols, which is great because they should be smaller. And I think even the upper part of the holster, it sort of gives enough room for that back piece of the pistol to fit. And I mean, part of the reason why they just completely sculpted a new and smaller holster is because if they wanted to make it look half decent on his thigh and still have room for this other pouch and some other stuff, they just couldn't keep it the size of their traditional pistols. So yeah, I think this Lieutenant is probably one of the nicest examples of a pistol that a GW, particularly a Space Marine, is carrying. So yeah, I would sort of be tempted to.
If it's different like that.
Yeah, I feel if this would be like a nice model if you want him. He's still standing on a fucking rock, something. But aside from that, I mean, it's nice. He also has a tiny. I'm sure this is supposed to be a dagger, but we'll say it's like a short sword.
Yeah.
So we rail on these stupid rocks and stuff that they put on nearly every GW model. Well, so recently on the YouTube channel, The Outer Circle, I think he's from Australia. He has a lot of videos mostly focusing on like Horus Heresy related stuff. And he, like us, are pretty critical of GW. Well, recently, maybe like last week, he had kind of a parody video talking about a new innovation that was going to change models in the future for Games Workshop and how they spent like years and years developing it, and it was the Tactical Rock. And he just had different pictures showing different models with how and they're standing on this rock and they're standing on that rock. And so it made me laugh because Games Workshop has a big, I guess I will say, a big problem with like a lot of their models. It's like they just can't leave that stuff alone. And nearly every character model is standing on something. And some are better than others. Like this guy here, he's standing on a broken piece of like masonry or something. And I mean that's okay. It doesn't look as unnatural as certain things. Like I remember it was probably even last week we were talking about some of the new vampire models that were shown. The one vampire lord looked like they were skating, almost like surfing on a piece of rock. Or like who knows why, but they were doing it. And so yeah, if you go to the Outer Circle's website or YouTube channel, you can probably find the video. It's funny.
Yeah.
So maybe sometime in the future, if enough people complain about stuff like that, maybe they'll stop doing it. Yes, I do sort of wonder though, do you think that's a
an action pose?
Oh, yeah, do you think that's something like the sculptor is like working on sculpting a model, or they draw up some like sketches of like what they think they're gonna do or something like that, and they go to like brainstorming sessions? Do you think does the art direction or whatever, who's ever like critiquing the models, like I assume stuff like that happens, is that just something like they have a list of bullet points that like we need these character models, it has to have this, 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 and this, and like one of them's like partially scenic base, and the easiest way to do that is to just have them standing on something. I don't know. I don't know. But it's those rare models that aren't doing that. Those are nearly always the best. But okay, so that was like a long tangent of what I've been working on. I guess I can also show that little pistol that I've been working on is going to go on a gun, like sort of like a one-handed gunslinger. And here's the start of that model. And in this case, will have probably at least 3 holstered pistols at her waist. And here you can see, even with the pistols so much smaller than the traditional GW holstered pistols, you really start running out of room to have pistols and stuff, even of this size, on like a model. So it can become pretty tricky. But yeah, so that's going okay. Eric, have you had a chance to do anything?
Unfortunately, not a whole lot. I've been in the process of rereading through the rules for F28 and taking notes and stuff because I want to do sort of a
F28. That sounds like a grand.
It does, doesn't it? Actually.
But no, this isn't like the F32 I got in my postdoc. This is a skirmish game created by I think a Swedish game designer, I believe Carl Bergman.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's and it's made for kind of all scales of miniature gaming, but so Carl Bergstrom. It's made for all scales of miniature gaming, but I think it maybe sort of as a special place for skirmish sort of stuff. And in general, it's supposed to be very streamlined and quick without lots of rule references and trying to remember all these different stat lines and things like that. But so it's supposed to be quick and also kind of offers opportunities for um also including a lot of, I don't know, narrative and GM sort of stuff. Hey, unsupervised darkness.
Oh, hey. Yeah,
And
so I think hopefully sometime
thank
soon.
Stonewall Steve for rating us with somebody.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Hopefully all is well on your end.
Yeah, hey Stonewall Stevie. Yeah, but F28, yeah, so it's just another, skirmish based game. And you can get a copy of it just on War Games Vault. They unfortunately don't have a digital version of it, which I think would be kind of nice. Like, it's nice to have a physical copy for things, but I think to get more people interested and excited about the game, I think it would be nice for people to have a digital option.
Yeah, see, I feel like now more than ever, over the past year or two, there have been more and more people writing their own rule sets or
Yeah.
rule sets for like skirmish based games or other types of games, such that it, in some regards, it can be hard to figure out, like, oh, why would I even look at this one when, like, oh, I can just use like the Necromunda rule set, or oh, I can just get an online rule set from like any manner of things. But so
Yeah.
in this case, like I've read over most of the rules, and I think I'll read through them again But it seems like it's a pretty good system for, I would say, mainly playing skirmish games, but you can go up to like larger battles and stuff as well. But hopefully
Yeah,
within,
like yeah, the book has kind of additional kind of stuff for campaign play and different things to kind of support kind of different scales and whatnot. But I think, or I think it might have the most traction in kind of the skirmish level stuff. And I think because of its sort of rule simplicity, I think it would work well for kind of Ink 28 sort of events where no one really wants to spend the time to learn a lot of rules or develop rules for their models.
yeah.
But um, it has kind of an interesting activation system in which you can like take full or half actions. And essentially, when you take actions, you put like activation tokens on a model. And then after you like do an action, the opponent kind of has the opportunity to react to that. But if
Hmm.
they do react to that, depending on if it's a full or half action, they have to put an activation token on that model that reacted, such that when it comes to their turn, if they've already activated a model too much, they're kind of restricted in what they can do. So it's kind of this back and forth that you kind of are constantly, in the game because you have these opportunities to maybe interrupt things or do things. Um, and also a little bit like Necromunda, because in Necromunda, right, if you get hit by a weapon but not wounded, or what is it called, stunned, or like you put your head down. I don't remember what it's called, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's been so long since
Yeah,
I played
I
Necromunda.
don't remember what it's called either.
Um, but it's kind of like that tier two that if you get hit hit by something, but it didn't cause a wound, you get suppressed, and that also kind of essentially is an activation token as well.
Hmm.
So it's all kind of about around this system of using activation tokens. And I think at the end of each turn, I believe you remove 2 tokens from each model, but there's the possibility that you could have been shot at a bunch of times and, like, you can't recover in a single turn.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of gives you some like tactical choices and stuff where you might not be able to do everything you would want to do.
Yeah, but I think, like, I haven't really had the opportunity to try to play any games just because due to COVID and stuff, we haven't gotten out there, but I
Hmm.
wanted for a while just to wait until we could do that, but at this point, I feel I would like to be able to, talk about the game a little bit more, maybe write something up talking about our thoughts on it, and then hope.
Write one of those grants to try to get that F-28.
Yeah, so I think probably within the next month or so, we'll probably have something up on the blog talking about the rule set in general. So if anyone's interested to learn more about it, you can look forward to that.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting about the system, when they're talking about the rules, they don't right in the beginning just show you like the stat line of a model or like a basic weapon.
Hmm.
I think that makes it for someone who's really new to it. I think it makes it maybe a little challenging to wrap your head around it because you're like, can I even look in this book to find this information? And it's like, as it turns out, there are kind of template archetype stuff, but it's in the back of the book behind like the last, I don't know, third of the book. There's like game master only, don't read, and it's in there. It's in the don't read section.
So yeah, be
So,
careful. Read
it-
everything.
yeah. So like I thought that was maybe a little odd, and they wouldn't have had to do too much. Just having like one basic stat line, I think, would have helped like the reader have something to focus in on and see like, oh, these are the stats and things that are going to matter.
Hmm.
Ultimately, the stat lines are really simple,
Yeah.
but I think it would be a good reference. But I don't know, regardless, I think it would be neat, and the game has a lot of effort was put into making different campaign settings and scenarios and things of that nature that I think you could get a lot of enjoyment out of that, or just ignore it all and just play
Hmm.
like use it for 40K related stuff. And honestly, I kind of think that's maybe more the strength of it because the system is supposed to be really simple, which is essentially equates to 4 plus for everything, unless
Hmm.
you think otherwise, which is kind of what I think a lot of the Inc. 28 stuff I've played in the past has sort of resorted to.
Yeah,
But
like you can
four
sort of,
plus,
as you're playing, you can kind of decide with the people you're playing, like, well, this is going to be pretty hard for such and such to accomplish. And you can kind of
yeah,
just decide right there what you think seems reasonable. But I think it also kind of can and help allow for like more narrative style things, and like I think that's sort of can be really neat, like incorporating more narrative elements and like story related stuff in some of the stuff can really help
yeah, no,
improve any event.
mhm, I agree. I guess Greg's gone. I wanted to mention this one mag got here. We can, I guess, wait a little bit.
Oh, he said, unsupervised darkness says, if you have time, I'd like to know your thoughts on the Rangers of Shadow Deep.
I've never actually like played that, but I know like people think really highly of it.
Yeah, so maybe that, like, yeah, I've not played it either, but I feel that would be kind of interesting too. We should probably look into it a little more. I sort of feel like a lot of the different game systems that are around, like, you could pretty easily take different elements of several of them and kind of merge them together in whatever like you're trying to do or you're wanting to play. Like I know when we talked about Games Workshop's game Warcry, one of the more interesting things in that is the notion that it sort of follows the progression of your like warband itself, and it doesn't really focus that much on the individual models in your warband, but rather them conquering more territory and gaining like more riches and fame and stuff like that. And I feel that that whole progression system of like your warband as a whole, um and I think that could a system like that you could easily slot into like Necromunda or other game systems, and you could use that to kind of build in narrative based like elements and stuff and like motivations and goals and quests that your war bands and stuff are going on. So I think that could be cool.
Yeah, in some sense, and I think a lot of the game systems, maybe some of it is just about getting inspired and excited about the things.
Hmm.
Almost like we've talked at least in the past a little bit about the RPG Merkborg, and I feel it like has really simple rule systems and such that kind of could easily fit into any sort of RPG or setting that people play.
Hmm.
The rules don't matter hugely, but the game does a really good job of through the rule book, like creating a setting and atmosphere. And I think that just can create excitement and get people like wanting to get involved and play and develop their own things. And I think a lot of these systems that can is a major element of it. I guess is I don't know. Greg,
Yep.
do you have any thoughts on Rangers of Shadow Deep?
Um, I haven't looked at or read the rules. I remember Anna of Gardens of Hecate seemed to like it a lot, to the point that she made miniatures for like all of the different units in the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what Unsupervised Darkness is saying that.
oh, okay, yeah, I didn't read that. Yeah, yeah. So if she's jammed about it,
It
it
has
has
to
to
be
pretty
cool.
good.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And I mean, it was written by the guy who did Frostgrave. And Eric, you and I played a little bit of Frostgrave. It was fun.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that was.
so I think it would be a worthwhile thing to look into, guys. But we have lots of things.
Look at that cool cover too.
Yeah, I mean that is a pretty neat cover.
Yeah, no, it is cool. This is not super related to any of that stuff, but earlier this week I got a package in the mail from Holy Mountain Printing. They make a lot of cool t-shirts for bands as well as movie related stuff and Gundam related stuff, but they just were talking with a few of the people there about potentially getting them on our podcast or on stream at one point, and they sent some t-shirts, and they also sent a copy of the one magazine that they produce here, which is called WDW3, or it's supposed to stand for We Do What We Want, and like it's really nice, really well printed, and it has like a lot of interesting stuff in it related to both bands. Sorry, it's I can't display it very well, but related to different bands as well as sort of hobby related things about toys and
Skateboarding.
different lots of interesting information. And I think they're also thinking about making a magazine that's more specifically related to hobby related things, probably a little bit more of a focus on Gunpla, but I assume won't be just strictly related to that. But in seeing this first issue that they sent, it's like really well printed, nice artwork, designs, and all that stuff. That
I have a copy
cool.
of the first issue myself, which I had ordered. There's a pretty neat and lengthy interview with um, Mortis is his handle. He's, I think, Swedish. He used to be the bassist to the black metal band Emperor, but then they kicked him out because he wasn't good enough at playing. And
Oh
then
my god.
he started like he basically created dungeon synth, that genre, or was one of the earlier practitioners of it before it had that name in the early 90s. So it was a pretty neat interview with him, a pretty long interview with him talking about kind of how he started and whatnot. And he has some interesting notes about how he was an acquaintance and knew a lot of the people in Mayhem. So like he knew Varg and
Oh my god.
Euronymous and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Mayhem and um early 90s black metal, the bassist to Mayhem, Varg, or at the time his musical handle was Count Grishnak. He stabbed to death the guitarist of Mayhem. It stabbed him like 30 times. And before that, Varg also burned down a whole bunch of churches. And then Varg went to prison for a while. And now he's not in prison anymore, and he's living in France with his like wife and kids. And he writes role-playing games about upholding strong European values.
Oh my
So
God.
Varg's a shithead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the interview with Mortis is pretty neat.
Damn.
Yeah, but so I don't know, worth looking at Holy Mountain Printing because they make a lot of cool, t-shirts and different stuff. And I think they also recently opened like a toy store with lots of kind of interesting esoteric toys and
They
that sort.
did.
Yeah, and or one thing that they'd been doing for a while is like photographing old and interesting toys and like custom vinyl figures and stuff. And yeah, they recently started stuff.
You're a
pertaining-
little soft, Greg, or at least to me anyway.
Sorry.
No problem. No one really needs to hear us.
No.
Yeah, but so yeah, I just thought I would mention it because it's cool, and I feel even they're not maybe directly related to the stuff we're doing completely, like there's certainly kind of parallels.
Yeah. Holy Mountain Printing, black shirts, black metal, black coffee. Good. Good. Okay, so is there anything what do we want to go to next? Is there something we want to go to next? We haven't gone to the Warhammer community site yet. Is there anything there? They had something about the new kill team thing that I didn't look at. That's cool.
Hard to.
They talk a little bit more about the new Slaanesh stuff, right? They have some artwork. The Geld Prince doesn't look too cool.
No, like doesn't look cool at all.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Dave, about the little pistol. I think it's finally done. I think it's finally done. I think since last we talked about it, or on Instagram, I added the little front sight on the pistol and added some little grooves on the rear of the slide to make it easier for the operator to pull the slide back. So I guess in this case, since the user only have one hand, she'll probably need to use the rear sights to, like, on her belt or on her like amputated like arm, use that to rack the slide back. But that's fine. That's fine. And she doesn't have her finger on the trigger, so perfect.
For whatever it's worth, Mortis is Norwegian, as was Mayhem. Mind you, Norway's right beside Sweden, but still. The black metal elitists would probably be ashamed of me.
Well, so I guess one thing we can talk about, are people excited about, have people been picking up
Coins.
the different monthly coins from Games Workshop? If you go into one of the physical shops and spend $100, you can get the monthly coin.
Will you
Here's a
get
post.
both?
I don't like, so they've in November and December, that's I think when they started the coin thing. And so there were a separate coin for each month, but I don't think in January, I don't think there was a coin.
Yeah, like, but are there gonna be 2 this month or something?
I heard rumor that there is going to be a new coin, which I guess is this Slanesh one that I'm showing here. And I think maybe the third week of the month they're going to have a second coin. So if you were big into collecting these coins, you would
They're
have to
done. They kind of like fucked you.
you would have to spend $200 at a
That's so
Warhammer store.
stupid. Like they already fucked it up.
Yeah, they already fucked it up. It took 2 months and then they fucked it up.
I mean, I guess in their defense, like COVID and shipping stuff is harder, but it's still kind of
I don't know about, I know everyone's excited to see this, but just
God,
we
there
have
you
a
have it.
surprise for you. There are the first 2 coins. We have them.
so cool. Fucking
So,
sick.
does it say a month?
I'm
No.
sure it doesn't because they didn't want to be like hampered or
So yeah, we have the first 2 coins, and so now I have to decide. Like, it comes down to the point. It's like, I mean, we buy
get them all.
we buy plenty of stuff, but it's like you think, like, is there even anything that I could even buy?
Yeah, that's the hard thing. Like, what do you even get?
If you got Gazgakal Thrak, it would cost $200.
So Eli, what this means is it's not quite that bad. In the first coin I got because I went in and I purchased, I think, the Warhammer 40,000 rulebook and some Blood Bowl stuff. And then the second coin, the Death Guard coin, our friend Brad Smith, he went in and bought some stuff and he got that coin and he gifted it to me.
Yeah, it
So-
would have been hard to get it. Like, what would you even buy?
Yeah, so if
Force yourself to get stuff. 'Cause even if there was something you wanted, it wouldn't be in stock. So you'd
well, you
have
see,
to
that's the big thing. Like,
Mhm.
even if you go with something in mind, the physical store, there's a good chance they won't have it. But so I guess since I've been working on trying to convert some more Necromunda models for the Red Church, like, I think I have an interest in buying like some of the Sister of Battle or Repentia models because they're all
Eli,
scarred and
That's
such.
the problem, Eli. You can't buy Orlocks at Games Workshop stores because it's Necromunda stuff. So
Yeah, they don't stock
you
that
want it.
stuff in the stores.
buy box after box.
I mean, if they did, maybe. But so I think maybe this month I will go and buy some of that Sister of Battle stuff to continue working on converting some heavily scarred and like limb amputated models. So I can probably get one of the coins, but I don't think I can get the other. What do they actually say? What do they say here? Wait, your store will make all of the models and coins you missed available and wait a minute. Oh wait, is your local Warhammer store closed due to COVID? We've got you covered. Pretty cool.
Hey, unrelated. I just saw this. So you know the sludge metal band Bongzilla
Mm-hmm.
that hasn't been a band for a while. They apparently have a new album on the way. called Weedsconsin.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Apparently, it's been 16 years since they released an album, but Weedsconsin's coming.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, so I guess if I do manage to get this coin, maybe in a future stream, I'll break out all the coins. Apparently, if you collect at least 6 of the coins or something, I think they will give you like a little display case to display your coins in.
Well, how will they know if you got them? Do you have to like bring them in?
I assume. Or
Well-
maybe the store you're at. I mean, if you're literally coming in every month and spending $100 on shit,
They'll remember.
they're
Yeah.
gonna remember you. And I mean, the one that I go into, I've only been in like a handful of times, and the guy recognizes
You're
me.
on a first name basis.
The
What
guy
if they tried to-
recognizes me that I do Blood Bowl related stuff.
What if you tried to take the coins to like a railroad track to flatten them?
Oh man, that would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
Would be sick. The coins themselves are actually, they're pretty nice.
Sick and also sweet. Yeah.
So let's get rid of these. Don't need to show that. Oh, and I also have this little Blood Bowl poker chip. Brad, our friend Brad, he got this as well from the Warhammer store. That's kind of neat. I know some people, when they're playing Blood Bowl, they'll use a little poker chip to represent the model carrying the ball. And so you just set your model right on top of it, and then it's very obvious which model has the ball.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great idea. I first saw people on YouTube doing it, and then I was surprised to see that Games Workshop actually made a few like promotional coins or whatever for that purpose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's neat. But yeah, so we'll keep everyone updated about our coin collection. I'm pretty proud of it so far. I haven't missed a coin.
Yeah,
And I guess also to encourage you to go into the stores, they each month they have a model that they'll give you for free. And I guess this month they're saying there are 2 models, and I think that's just because they didn't have a model last month. One thing that's funny related to that, apparently,
on 2 models.
yeah, no one would want those. Apparently, I talked to the store owner, or the guy who worked at works at the local Games Workshop near me, and he said that apparently Games Workshop management said that he's supposed to assemble the models before people get into the store, such that he can give the people the assembled model, which is obviously, like, I don't see how anyone would actually want that, and he knew no one would want that, so he just made the executive decision to not assemble the models before giving them out. I've never taken any of the models, because every time, like, I don't need a new model. And I mean, I certainly don't need a Reaver. Reavers. Yeah, so that's something. I don't know if there's anything else. Oh shit, Warhammer. There's gonna be a Warhammer store and cafe in Los Angeles now. Because there's one in somewhere in Texas. That was the first one. And so there's gonna be a new one. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And here are pictures of it. Look at that. Look at this cute little chalk drawing of a space marine throwing some dice. His head's too
I
big, his eyes aren't
you
placed
switch
right, but
back
that's still
over
cute.
to the yeah, you still have it on the camera on your workbench, Adam.
Oh, damn. That's just a minute. Okay, I finally changed it. I guess whenever the pandemic's over, people can go to the shop and drink their coffees and look at that. The little pictures, they make it look pretty nice.
Yeah, no, it does. So, like, does it? Because this is the second one, right?
Yeah.
Is like part of it? Yeah. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see. Who knows how it will? What it would be like.
But the
Like that
picture's
character's
not big
little
enough. Like, I'd love to see what is on there. What is on that menu? I can't read it. They have hot beverages, cold beverages, espresso, pastries, extras. Look at that. Eli says, quote, "Oh, I chose not to do that really dumb thing you wanted me to do." End quote. Adam's local store manager. W. Yeah. Wait, the Texas Cafe serves such delights as the Prospero peach tea and Nuln oil mocha. You know you want that. Chaos cookies and Warpstone muffins. That's something else. That's fun. Apparently they'll sell art prints and stuff, pin badges and coffee mugs. That's pretty nice. Wait a minute. You can buy a variety of web exclusive models off the shelf, including releases for games such as Adeptus Titanicus and Necromunda. So these are the stores. None of the normal Games Workshop stores sell their specialty game
Yes,
stuff.
I find that's kind of hilarious. So they actually even like admit it flat out that like, yeah, you can't get that stuff.
Yeah, so you need to go to one of the Warhammer cafes to get all that other stuff. I wonder, do they have that? But I wonder, do they have Forge World stuff? Probably. Or wait, the stores they stock a variety of popular Forge World models. So
Okay.
what does that mean?
Space Marines.
Space Marines, yeah. So Eli, so you had one of the venison burgers at Warhammer World. When we were at Warhammer World, we drank some of the beer they had there, I remember. And maybe had some like pretzels or something.
Yeah, I don't quite
But I don't
recall.
think we ate anything more serious. It was fun. So I guess that's kind of neat. If you're in Southern California, in the Los Angeles area, whenever this opens, and you can actually travel and such, it could be fun.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I wonder how the one in Texas is doing, like in the sense that I think
Hmm.
it didn't open that long ago, and then COVID, kind of makes it hard to.
Yeah.
Well, all what I can say is I sure as shit hope they don't serve venison burgers at these new shops. then I don't even want to go to the stores. You want to get chronic wasting disease, dementia in 15 years, slow burn.
but not that slow.
The store
Yeah.
opening will be a little different than usual because we want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to celebrate safely. We'll extend the festivities for a few weeks to avoid a big opening day crowd, and the shop will diligently follow all local social distancing and COVID-19 precautions.
I mean, that's good.
They have a Facebook page.
Oh,
I don't have a Facebook account, so this probably isn't gonna love this, but oh god. I say not now. Yeah.
They really want you to get it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Oh, look there. They have one of the big Space Marine models, and they're modifying to make it look like a chaplain. I know the Warhammer store that I used to go to when I was in San Diego, they had one of these big looking shitty Marines. They look really bad. Wow, it's interesting. Their Facebook page already has so much more activity than my local Games Workshop Facebook page. Like, holy shit, there's so much stuff here. Oh, no worries, Meandering Shade. Yeah, so there's so much more activity here than the Facebook page for my local store.
And you were even in California, but I guess California is a big place.
Well, so I don't remember what the Facebook page for the California one was. The one I'm talking about now is one of the ones in Maryland. But I would imagine, I don't think the one in well, we can look. This was it. Oh wait, they do have a Facebook. Let's look at it. Oh, they have something telling you about the coin. Everyone's excited for that coin. No, I don't want to start Facebook. Okay, on June 16th, they said they were reopening the shop. They have a thing talking about the cafe in Los Angeles. Okay, so no, there's the one in San Diego, there's like no activity. Oh, here's a little. Wait, they have some about work in progress Wednesday. Show me your New Year's. So there's a little bit, but not much.
yeah.
It's just largely showing pictures of new things that are coming out. And that's kind of what I would expect.
Yeah, nah, it's not.
Because I guess most of the physical Games Workshop stores are incredibly small. So even if you have a group of loyal customers who before COVID would come and play and do stuff, like I feel it would be a little hard to have anything too significant going all the time just because of the stores themselves.
Man, that's one thing I'm happy I don't do, run a run a Games Workshop store.
Yeah, I'll say.
I mean, I guess some aspects of it could maybe be fun, but since like it would have to be such a small operation,
Hmm.
You're basically all on your own.
Well, I mean, all of the stores, at least that I've been to, they only ever have one person working at the shop at a time. So if for their lunch break, they literally close the store for an hour. And then it's like I remember when I was in the San Diego one, like you were in there like, "Hey everybody, like we're going to be closing the store in 15 minutes. Like you can come back in an hour." Which, I mean, I understand it, but it's just, I don't think I'd ever, you don't encounter that too much in most, like, retail environments.
Yeah, like get out, customers.
Yeah. But it makes sense. Actually, do people... No. My God, I hate Facebook. I'm glad I don't have Facebook.
Yeah, it's not great. It is not great.
Okay.
What is great is that
Apparently, Jeff Bezos is stepping down as Amazon CEO.
He is.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a thing. Like, maybe... Huh.
that'll probably rock their stock price.
Or no, it shot up. Like I
Oh.
like made $1 on the $25 I had in Amazon.
Was that in response? Do you think that was in response to that, or do you think that'll tomorrow it will affect it?
I think it, or the article that read the title of made it sound like maybe people were excited about the prospect
mean,
of
maybe they
somebody
are.
new going in, or I don't know.
I don't think anyone's a huge fan of Jeff Bezos.
This is changing subject a lot, Eric, but I know, Eric, you're a Dark Angels player. Are you getting excited for all the Dark Angels previews and stuff for their new codex? They're gonna be it's gonna be a strong army.
I would say I would buy the codex, but I can't buy it digitally, and there will probably only be 4 copies of the physical one in the United States. So
Well, so shit, that could be something I could buy in January to get the coin.
Fair.
Well, so one thing I will say, like I just clicked on one of those things, like hunt and capture the fallen with Dark Angels new crusade rules. It's like, that's not a good picture right there. Look at that. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Then if you scroll down, there are some other like pictures. Here's a bad picture of a Space Marine helmet. That's not good. What does it say about it?
Raven's Eye.
The Raven's Eye allows the wearer to see through ferrocrete walls and perfectly calculates the distance to a target. That's pretty cool.
Well, so that's just awesome.
So Eric, I'm a little disappointed. I would have thought you'd have a lot of cool news and information to tell me about the new Dark Angel book.
No, it means nothing to me. It means nothing to me.
So, since I sort of started, there was at least some talk about me digitally playing Warhammer 40,000 again, and that's why I went and bought the book. I'm in a Discord chat with a bunch of people about it, and we chat about various things, and throughout the past week or so, a lot of the people there have been excitedly posting like pictures of some of this new stuff and like doing some math hammer and figuring out and like talking about what things they think are cool, etc. And like I've only paid a little attention to it because like I don't know the rules that much. But I have a question for you, Eric. Wait, actually, Eli says, does the Raven's Eye also make the wearer think they look cool even when the helmet looks like trash? It probably does. I was gonna ask you a serious question, Eric. So you've been a Deathwing player for a long time now. Say you were a new player, and this was your first time starting a Space Marine army. Would you, seeing these pictures of these Deathwing models, would this have ever excited you to make a Deathwing army?
To it, I will always say no.
Yeah, that's like, because to me, when I think back about like the Deathwing and stuff, I think back to the third edition Angels of Death book that had lots of cool black and white illustrations, and they kind of made like Terminators and stuff fighting in Space Hulks, all that stuff seemed cool. Because I know like the Deathwing, pretty sure like a single like unit of them like helped like defeat like a gene stealer called Invasion or some shit. Like there's all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff about them. But like man, they were cool. But like looking at these, like boy, do they
Well,
look
it might
bad.
have cool to us when we were 12.
Yeah, it probably would have still looked, but they look bad. I don't like it.
And but I mean these ones, the ones in the robes, they look even worse. Oof.
Says
Yeah,
you.
what are they even called? I don't remember.
It
The
probably
robe
says
bearers.
here.
Obviously, a very creative Deathwing Knights.
Yeah.
Always inspiring.
Oh wait, it says here, will you be fielding a first company detachment in your army? Plan your ideal Deathwing force with Battle Forge, and you could win a whole thing and you could win the whole thing thanks to our ongoing competition. Let us know how many Terminators you think you could squeeze into 2,000 points on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Eric, I know you have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Get out there and start posting your new lists.
Oh yeah.
I will also say, like, the paint jobs for these like this Deathwing scheme just looks a lot worse to me than like the old Deathwing models. Like that does not, like I think of like bone colored armor, and that's just not, this isn't doing it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no. The
Also,
Raven Wing biker banner on the back of the sergeant. That's
mhm,
cool.
pretty cool. Also, one thing, it's gonna be hard for people to see unless they're looking at this on a really large screen, but this like Dark Angel's captain, he has like one of this little like battle honor, this Terminator honor. Look how goofy this skull looks on that. It it looks really goofy. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's look some more Dark Angel stuff. Oh, okay. So the Dark Angels book, that one of our streams we were railing on the cover, the artwork on the cover, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at the book. Like, no, we don't need to talk about it again. It looks bad. Whoa, what's this? Oh, damn, Eric, look at this. Did you buy this new iconography? Like, look at this cool Cypher t-shirt.
I feel, isn't that weird? Like they don't really sell that many t-shirts and things, you know? But they decide to do it and make a Dark Angels one and they put fucking Cypher on it.
Yeah, that's really
I
strange.
find that odd. Like when they could just put the Dark Angel symbol or like the Deathwing logo or
Let's
it
try and get bigger pictures of it.
just
It's
seems
like
like
the
really bad.
fucking traitor.
design.
Traitor.
I mean maybe yeah, Cypher. And then there's like a Predator and like yeah, it just seems like
Look at
how
this.
did they find this shit?
Look at this picture. So he has his two gauntlets crossed, holding the two pistols. Look at how fucking big those pistols are.
I would
It's
rather not.
it's bad. It's not a cool
So
picture.
cool. Yeah, he might not be in the codex. I don't even
I have no idea. Where there's let's see there I think there's some other Dark Angel stuff that maybe you'd be oh my god, Eric. Deathwing long sleeve tee. Look at that. Like come
Of
on.
all the cool Deathwing and like Terminator artwork, they use like the shittiest one they've ever made.
Yeah, it's bad.
Who designs this shit?
Let's
Like that
see.
was back when they like hit rock bottom with artwork in their codex books.
This is a limited these are limited edition Dark Angel stuff. Well, actually, so here's a Ravenwing notebook. So this they actually took one of the cool pictures. I mean, they ruined it with the color, but when it was in black and white, this is cool.
Whoa, this one's different. So it's colored, but they didn't because in the one in the rule book,
They added other like land speeders and shit.
yeah, but they also changed the bolters in the front. They changed them to plasma guns.
Yeah, so this they've reverted back to more closer to
Yeah,
the original thing.
this is better. It's less like fucked
Like
up.
they should have a t-shirt with this image on. Like that's cool.
I kind of think they modified it to put the wings on the side, so like it was partially digitally retouched. But they didn't do as much here. Yeah, that's
weird.
hilarious that they have like at least 3 different versions of that piece of artwork with different stages of color and just
Eric,
drawing.
there's a fucking Dark Angels calendar.
There's also a poster.
Look at this calendar. So let's look at the art in the calendar. That's not good. That's not good. Not good. Not good.
The one, the
Not
Ravenwing
good.
one, the land speeders are back in it. They didn't try to like Photoshop in
Yeah.
additional makers like the one version.
Okay, so of all the artwork on this calendar, there are a few that are good. But a lot
Most
of like
of them are bad.
there are like why the fuck are there are 2 of Cypher? Like Jesus Christ. Like there are other fallen Dark Angels.
Are there though?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Like of those pieces of artwork, the David Gallagher one is maybe the best.
Yeah.
That and the Ravenwing one. All the
Alright,
others kind of suck.
yeah.
I mean,
Man.
they don't suck, but they're just not cool.
Like literally the coolest t-shirt is the one of the Predator tank. And like that's not that cool.
It'd be cooler if it was Ultramarines.
Let's see.
You know,
I
it's true.
wonder you could get a Deathwing beanie, Eric. Be
That's
pretty cool.
better than most of the shit.
Yeah, it is. Well, let's see. We should look at. Wait.
Are
Hmm.
there any t-shirts that don't
Holy shit,
suck?
they have Space Marine face masks. They've just arrived. Look at those.
God.
I would feel ashamed wearing those.
Yeah, goddamn.
Well, it depends on where
Truly
you
ashamed.
wear it.
Okay, let's see. Shop by faction. 2 armies of the Imperium because we care most about Space Marines and stuff. They do have a surprise. Oh, look at this. Here's an Imperial cap. It's just like your standard hat with the Imperial Eagle on it. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's good. I would wear that. What else do we have here? Oh my god, their website is so bad. Hmm. It's interesting. They have tons of shirts with like artwork on it, but they choose. They don't. Most of the artwork they choose isn't great. Oh my god. Some of this stuff. Oh, here's an Adeptus Mechanicus icon cap. That's cool too.
Have you found all the stuff you want to buy, like that Blood Angels hoodie?
Here's a Dark Angels baseball, like a hat. That's pretty good. An Imperium polo shirt. Fuck yes. Hmm. Yeah, I mean they actually have a lot of t-shirts. Oh, here's an Inquisitor t-shirt. Let's look at this. This is good. It has like the classic Inquisitor cover, and you can just get it in black and white. The image is probably too big, but
Yeah, it's not bad.
that's cool. And you can get it in red. Ooh, red looks a lot worse.
Yeah, that's something.
What else? Yeah, well, here's a baseball Inquisition hat with the Inquisition eye on it. That's cool. Oh, this is interesting. They took
Hmm.
that classic like Grey Knight
Yeah.
image. And they modified it to put it on a white t-shirt. That's weird. Alright, let's keep going. Lots of coffee mugs. Lots of beanies. Oh man, look at that dumb looking Ultramarines hat. In black it looks fine. There's a Space Wolf bundle. Oh, here's an Astra Militarum backpack. Eric, you were just talking about how you needed a new backpack. Oh no, shit. We were talking about getting a backpack to do our unboxings. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's this Deathwatch Xenos vintage laptop bag. It's pretty cool. Yeah, some of the just the baseball hats, the standard hats are pretty good. God, they have a ton of stuff. Look at this duty t-shirt. Oh my god, that looks so bad. Look at that. Look at that. I would be fucking ashamed to wear that. Look at how big that stupid rifle is. Oof. Oof. Hmm. And it's interesting, a lot of the artwork here, like some of it, I've never even seen it. Yeah. I don't think that was a regular Bolter Eli. It couldn't have been. Oh my god, everybody, look at this. Look at this cushion. Look at that cushion.
Is it is this is pretty weird because I feel for a long time, for most of our time in Warhammer, like you kind of wanted Warhammer related t-shirts, but they didn't
It
exist.
didn't exist. And now
And
there is like so much of it, and no one even knows about it.
and I feel it's just there's too much stuff here and too many of them are pretty underwhelming that uh I
There's
feel they
so
will never be
much.
purchased.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. It's like almost it's like remarkable. Oh shit, here's another duty t-shirt. Let's look at it. That's not good. That's not good. I don't like it.
Oh, I don't like anything.
I hate everything. Uh, there's a flesh tear cushion. Wow, that's weird. Yeah, there's so much stuff. Well, I know where I'm buying Eric's birthday gifts. Oh wait, shit. Oh. So let's actually. Oh, they do have. I just want to see the cushions. These are all the cushions. Gosh, that's something else. So everybody, if you let's look at the Xenos armies. If you if you're excited to get some Warhammer merchandise, just go to merch. In this case, merch USA Warhammer.com, and you can buy all the cool shirts and coffee mugs. Oh, here's like a little orc hat. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I'd wear that.
I like that. The orc symbol's good.
Yeah, that is good. Are there any more pictures of the hats to see like what the back looks like?
It says adjustable
Also,
fabric strap with a metal buckle.
is the
That
symbol? It's not print. Is it printed or sewn?
you can't tell based on the image there. It's very clear. They just have a stock image of a hat, and then they have an image of. Or wait a minute.
It looks printed.
It looks
So yeah, so
printed.
that's
Not
it.
that nice.
Didn't it said adjustable something. It said about embroidered.
Oh, it says
If it,
embroidered icon, so I guess just the picture they have just isn't accurate. Maybe.
so okay, so that's
It
better.
could be good. And $20 isn't that terrible.
No.
Oh, look here's a Craft Worlds like Reaper mug where they just have some of Jess Goodwin's like artwork on it. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, no, that is cool.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really not good stuff here, but if you spend the time and look through it all, which could take you probably a long time, some of this stuff is kind of nice. Like a lot of the hats look pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could walk away with some sick swag.
Some cool cushions. Everyone needs a new good cushion, right?
I'd get the Harlequin leggings,
Shut up, Greg.
the Craft Worlds Warlock hoodie.
Are you sure you wouldn't want the Tyranid leggings? Look at those. Aren't they cool?
Yes.
God, they're terrible. Why did they make these? God. Why did
Why?
they make these?
Yeah, I don't know.
For the people who want to cosplay as a Tyranid at Gen Con.
It's true.
Gen Con is not going to happen ever again, Greg. I'm sure it will eventually, but
Yep, so there's a lot of stuff here. You can get your
Yeah,
little
maybe we're
laptop
done for you.
cases. Pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. So
Maybe
next time you have an hour or so, go to the Warhammer merchandise site and buy
Yeah,
all the cool merchandise to support the company we all love.
yeah.
uh, okay, so I guess how's everyone feeling? Like, we could probably soon call the stream to an end.
Yeah,
It's getting close to midnight here.
and yeah, there just wasn't no new cool releases. I don't do anything anymore. Or I haven't.
Yeah. Well, I guess thanks everyone for joining us tonight and chatting with us about a whole range of things. I hope we excited you about the Warhammer merchandise website. I know I'm going to be spending some time here. Maybe next time you see us, we'll be wearing some Warhammer merchandise. We won't. We obviously won't, but
No, no, no.
yeah. All right, everyone. Yeah, thanks again for being with us. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep on enjoying the hobby, and we will talk to you again soon.
Yep. See ya, everybody.